Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have the blank, which is great. Do I have a bingo? I would have duckatoon as an 8 through the right floater, but I'm looking for a 7. Just wondering if I should squiz through the alphabet. And I think I will. Nothing has immediately come to mind, but I don't want to give up too quickly on this. I learnt yesterday how a bad early move can have consequences. So out dock, I don't think so. Out is the obvious prefix here. That would be con as a prefix. Okay, this isn't looking particularly productive. Okay, not seeing anything there. So how to sort the rack out? Well, I'm minded to play outdo. 14 points. Wow. A couple of non-bingo-y tiles in the J and the F. The reason for playing lots of tiles is because none of them were particularly worth keeping. And with the blank, as I would like an open board because it increases my chances of bingoing. Now this is a balanced rack, even though it's a non-bingo-y one. I would need another E to play Jeffé. I'm immediately looking to see if I can get rid of both F and J. And I may not be able to do that. I can play jet and out. Can I do any better than that? That's not bad. 29 points. And calf is good and tock is good, and opponent's likely to be tempted to play in row K. What about playing calf and keeping the J? That's 29. 25 points. Gosh. Well, where am I going to score with the J? I guess I'm retaining the jet spot. I think I will go with this. This is really quite a tricky choice because both moves provide opportunities for opponents. And a play like faced doesn't compete in terms of score. Not seeing anything through the O. I'm going with calf. Wow, I have Sedgiant, which plays in row J. And also in column 13, this has worked out. Wow. And that was part of the equation, the bingoiness of C and F compared to the bingoiness of just J. And it's very difficult to compare those. C is a bingo-y tile, but F most certainly isn't. And C and F together are bad. Now, what other options are available? Sedgiant is a face value bingo. Bejance is good. Wow, look at this. This is looking good. Opponent plays Ween, which does take an S and only an S. I'm not going to get the J doubled. But I am going to get a bingo down. So, Bejance doesn't hit this double letter square. And what about playing in row L all the way under Ween? So Sedgiant. Well, Sedgiant does work. And what about getting the J doubled? Bejance doesn't work in that spot. I'm going to have a quick look for further bingos. 16 minutes on my clock. That's Sedgiant. That's Fanjets. Interesting. Now that does play in row L. Part of the problem of a row L play is the plays which don't go all the way underneath Ween leaves column 15 alone. Janties. Wow, this Ort isn't good, but it is playable here. Janties for 99. Bang! Fantastic. I was starting to slightly worry about spending too long on these opening moves, but then when you find a play like that, it suddenly becomes worthwhile, and Janties gives very little away. Opponent can barely score off the J, and column 15 only available for SS words, and I've drawn one of the S's. Now, I also have a Y for score. I don't have a bingo-y rack, but I do have a good lead of 90 points, and 8 points for opponent. Fantastic. Christmas has come early this year. So, what am I going to do? So I'm looking to play off Y and vowels, so a play of OYE would work, but I'm not seeing anywhere for that. So, well, here works, and that would be creating a new 7-letter S lane, but there already is such a lane in row J. So only 15 points, which is a bit tragic. Tok takes an A in front. What about playing just OY? 21 points. And OY takes an R and an S. So do I have anything other than OY which plays? Orni is good. Ah, wow, what about this? I mean, this isn't magnificent, but it has merit. It's 25 points. AE takes nothing after it. This stops opponent scoring anything from the J. This provides nothing at all. And the rack leave is pretty much the same as EEIS. And I'm avoiding all of the, or both of the hooks for OI. So this feels a much better play. Let me just see what the S adds, another 12 points. I think the S is worth 12 when it's accompanied by 3 vowels. I am going with this. Well, not bad. This looks close to a bingo. I'm not seeing a 7. There could be an 8. Floating D. I have the over prefix. And this is a rack which, had I have played OI, I would have had an E instead of an O, and I think it would have looked a little closer to a bingo. 3 points for opponent. Okay. So, what am I going to do? I need to play off O and V, and anything else is a bonus. It would be nice to play off V double O. Not sure that's going to be possible. Well, at the moment, I'm not seeing anything at all. What about a play down from the S? No. What about NE? Not seeing anything there. Wow, what a tricky spot to be in. Wasn't expecting to be devoid of options. Ah, well, what about playing Vor? Super blocky, which, given I've got a huge lead and a non-bingo rack, is attractive. So, Vor for 17. Okay, so, pretty good. I have Leonor's, and I've taken out the S lane, so that may not play. What else do I have? Do I have anything with the V? No. How about an SS play? And that could be a play ending less or ness. Ironless? Possibly ironless. That's nagging away. Now, what about a Ness play? Not seeing anything there. So if it's not ironless, is there an anagram, which I'm confusing it with? Not seeing anything. Now, what about NE? Gosh, could be something ending NERS. Nope, not seeing anything. Opponent's played ED, but he has not created a bingo lane by doing that because there are only 6 tiles. I don't think outdo takes an S, so this is actually a super tight board. An opponent may block column 15 inadvertently just because there are so few places to play. Well, he doesn't, and I do have Leonor's in row L, but I'm minded to try ironless. And it's good. Fantastic. And pretty good pickup through an E. I would have unfenced. No E available, but pretty much nothing available. And I lead by 200 points. So, pretty good position to be in. And not an easy position to play from. But one would never moan about being 200 points in the lead. That is a super comfortable margin. Even from this distance out, I am a massive favourite. Now, the V is still a floater for a bingo, but that doesn't go well with the F, so it doesn't help this rack. 4 E's to come. Is opponent going to stick one out in the open? I could play unfenced in column 11. Putting a U in the middle of row A. 28 points, pretty good. I would almost certainly survive a triple-triple. And I mentioned that possibility because this board is so dry. There are just so few spots to play. Okay, opponent has lost contact or quit. Will he come back? And he does come back. Fantastic. I was just looking at his publicly available information, but nothing particularly insightful there. I was also contemplating whether to start another game, given how little of this game had elapsed, and I would have done so. But if opponent carries on with this game, that's good news. Now, OE only takes an S, so the row L bingo lane, not one which assists me. Uppo takes nothing in front. So I've seen unfenced. I guess fenced is an alternative. And I could play fund in column 14. 19 points, keeping CEN. That doesn't give much away. F and U, pretty rubbishy floaters. Would probably attract a 2 or 3 letter play, top right. It's partly tempting, given the scale of this lead, to open the board up now and really try to create an even bigger lead, based on the fact that one's too far ahead for opponent to catch you. Now, okay, well, my unfenced spot has gone. 34 points for opponent. I don't have an I. I was just looking at column 12. I do have a U, but I don't see any QU plays. But there is an E for unfenced. Good grief, I nearly overlooked that. Opponent might regret coming back to this game. Unfenced for 80. Bang! And I now lead by 250 points. And I have the Z and the K, which are good scoring tiles. Still no I for QI, and no U. Not seeing anywhere great for my Z or my K. I guess KI is good, but I can't get that to score twice. So, what am I going to do here? Super non-bingo-y rack on a board with very few opportunities. Well, what about just playing Zig? That's pretty good. And is certainly my benchmark play. Is there a better one? And I'm looking to see if I can play off the V or the K with the Z. And I'm struggling to play the Z around unfenced. I guess nays is all I can see. But I really want to chip away at G, K and V if I can. I could play K go, but I don't want to keep V and Z. Now, can I get the Z to play twice next to the E of ironless? Don't think so. Nothing to hook fate. I am going with Zig for 33. Okay, more vowels, but that's not terrible when you're trying to work your way through high-scoring tiles. So, for example, I have evoke in column 14. 3 R's to come, so slightly reluctant to play that. Opponent bingos. Wow. My lead is now less than 200 points, but it's still super comfortable. And I now have evokes in column 1. Do I have anything else? Evokes is going to leave double A. Well, Keeves. That's a slightly better rack leave for 39. And it's not good. Okay. Copy book blotted. So I think I do go back to evokes for the same score. Wow, pretty good pickup from double A. Very close to a bingo. But do I have one? Not seeing a 7. Wow, opponents started to pile in with a few decent scores here. So I have a nice rack. And there's a good 7-letter lane in column 2. I'm not seeing a 7 with this rack, but there could be one. Gosh, close to Ori batted. So what about the B? I think that's the best floating consonant. So I have boat as a component part. Not seeing a bingo with a B. 8 minutes on my clock. I could play Cade or Caddy. 28 points. What about H? That doesn't look promising. And vowels look particularly unpromising. That would be a 5 vowel 8, and there are some of those around. Okay, well that's exhausted everything. Another 7-letter lane in column 14. So, what am I going to do here? Any 2-letter sets to consider? I'm close to adoration. I guess it's just N-E. Not seeing anything there. So, I thought I had spotted a possibility. Oh, it was Cade and Caddy. Yeah, keeping rota. I'm slightly hesitant about this because it's gifting quite a nice spot at the top right. And then that is going to leave alone column 2 as a bingo lane. Not the best rack leave, the O. Not great. 7 minutes on my clock, 16 tiles to come. Only 28 points. Can I do better than that? What about playing the same tiles at the bottom. 21 points. And 25 points for Aida. Yeah, I think I like that. That keeps 2 7-letter lanes available. And isn't gifting much to opponents. Wow, that's a pretty grim pickup. Double I, double R, no scoring tiles. So much for keeping bingo lanes open. So, what am I going to do with this rack? Certainly play off I and R, but even having done that, what's left is not particularly attractive. So I'm really looking to play off something like Royal or Loire. Is there anywhere for that? Well, not seeing anywhere, but I have a 200 plus lead still. Now, I do have an R for revokes, and just 5 points for opponent. Great, he's back on track. So I have Royal for 20, keeping IRT. I'm certainly not desperate to bingo, but this certainly sorts the rack out, and 20 points. And sorting your rack out from a bunch of 1-pointers is not bad. Great, I draw the X, so opponent doesn't have it, and I may be able to score. I felt I was on the brink of another bingo a few moves ago, and my rack has just gone massively in the opposite direction. Now the Fate hook remains available, but I'd need a D or an S for that. Still 1 blank to come, interesting. Have I given opponent the floater he needs to get a bingo down? Well, no, but he does have one at the top, which Cade would have blocked. So, valiant effort by opponent at the end here. No tiles left, so can I go out into... I'm looking at the top right to see if I've got anything through this L. Well, I have Hilt. Am I going to go out with what's left? Ixora, Orixa, both don't work. Opponent may not go out in 2, so I may get 3 turns. But if I can go out in 2, I think I'll play better. So I'll have a better winning margin. Now, if I don't go top right, is opponent going to go there? Well, he can play pole for 27 points. I don't think he can score anything like as good, so I think I do need to play top right. What about Hyla? I think the vowel's more useful. Gosh, I nearly misclicked that. So any alternative plays? I don't think I can play my X in the top right. I'm going with Hilt for 33. So AIRX, I don't think I'm going out in 1. But I am looking to play the X next go. Don't want opponents to catch me with that and benefit by 16 points. Well, immediately drawn to opponent's play, but I'm not seeing an X spot there. I have Ox and X, so I am playing the X. 3 minutes on my clock. Is opponent going out with LP? Well, yes, he's got Lop, he's got Lip. Can I use the X with the W? I don't think I can. Wow. Am I really faced with playing just X? That doesn't block lot, so I need to put this back. The end of the game is a bit like the beginning. You can make plays which have huge consequences. It's very easy to throw away 30 points at the end of a game. The game is won. That's not the point. It's a matter of making the right play. I can't stop opponent from going out. Can I stop opponent from going out by playing Ox for 9 points? He's got LP. He's still got Pole. 2 minutes on my clock. What about a play across the top of Royal? Not seeing one. There may be a play which stops opponent going out and retains the X. I'm not seeing that. I'm going with... Am I going with Ox and X? Is there really nowhere better for my X? Well, this scores 18 points, so I would be looking for it to play twice. 1 minute on my clock. Just looking down the bottom right to see if I've got any extensions of NE. Not seeing one. I and A. I takes an R at the end. Gosh, Calf was never hooked. I could play Lax. No, I'm going with Ox and X. We'll see shortly if there was a better play. I suspect there may well have been. Now, what if opponent... Oh, I was going to say, what if opponent doesn't go out? And he doesn't, but I can go out. I've got Larry. Is that the best I can do? I don't think Fater is good. I have Air and Rear. Can't score off Worm. I have Rye, which does for 18. And the final score, 334 for my opponent, 530 for me, a winning margin of 196 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. So not quite the 200, but jolly close. And great to be back to winning ways. So, me to go first. I couldn't see a bingo. And there was one. Woodcut. Wow. And it looks like that's the only bingo, so big miss right from the get-go. And I played out Do. Gosh. Opponent's rack. No N for unweapon. Plays a Po. And this is what I was thinking about. Jet and Calf. And I went with Calf in the end. Opponent's rack plays Ween. And wow, L6. Ah, well, this is Sedgiant getting the J doubled and not interrupting column 15, and it gets 110 points. So what do? I play Jantis for 99. Is obstructing column 15 worth 11 points? Probably not. So I think Sedgiant would have been a better play. Having said that, not only would it be leaving column 15 alone, it would be placing the J on this double letter square, inviting opponent to play in column 8. So those moves are a bit closer than 11 points, I think. Now, opponent's rack plays Gup. And I thought about Eyes and went with I. And opponent plays just ED, and he could have played Queer. Okay, that's a bit of a strange play. Now, my rack. And I play Vor. Nothing obviously better. And opponent again plays OE when he had a whole bunch of Q plays, so that's quite strange. Now I have ironless for 82. And this was, I think, when opponent stopped playing and then came back. And now did make a Q play. But at this point I was 150 ahead, and that just got bigger with unfenced. Opponent plays hate. Wow, zonk, B6. Nice. Through the N, giving very little away, 37 points. Rackleaf's not terrible either. Yeah, so a better play than Zig. Where's Zag? E3. Oh, Zag and Ugg. Okay, now opponent's rack and fantastic spot of Sabines. And it's just strange, opponent plays Sabines, but early on doesn't play Queer or Queen, so always a little puzzling when that sort of pattern appears. Now, my rack, and I play Evokes. Opponent plays Gay. Phew, I thought that was a bingo popping up, but it wasn't. I play Aida for 25, and I think that's fine. Opponent, no vowels, plays a bat. And I play Royal for 20. Yeah, and I think that's fine. Great bingo by opponent, given that previously he had no vowels, and it's a good spot. And the bag is now empty. I'm assured of the win, but what's best? So I play Hilt for 33. Would any of these other plays have been better? I don't think they would. So, opponent's play, he plays Worm. Wow! There are two outs. H1. Oh, I completely missed this O for Orixa. Gosh, I saw the word and was looking at these two O's and missed this one. And then Varix, H1. Wow, I must have completely overlooked the V and the O, so that's remiss. I play Ox instead. Opponent doesn't go out when he could do, plays Pox, and finally I have Ray for 18. So what a game. Quite a strange game with some of opponent's moves and also his coming and going, but always satisfying to get a big win, and this was nearly 200 points. So many thanks to my opponent for a good game. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.